How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Wiffy Real podcast. Today, I'm excited because in my presence, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Clintus.
What up?
Guys, I'm super excited because I feel like for the first time, I actually have a real influencer, man, in the midst of the studio, man. Clint, dude, has dominated, was one of the first OGs on YouTube who crushed it, man. Not only did he crush it, but he was able to like make a living from it, live from it, dude. And he's here today to share his story and tell us all about it. But Clint, before we start, dude, I always give my guest an AI introduction. So I'm going to read yours real quick, man.
All right.
No manipulation, man. This is just what ChatGPT thinks of you, man. It says, today on the Wiffy Real podcast, we're joined by a true OG of the YouTube game, Clintus, also known as Clintus.tv, with over 100 million views, 800,000 plus followers, and more than a decade of capturing real life on camera. He's built a legacy in the digital space, one of the first streamers to go live on YouTube gaming, and a lifelong gamer who's brought that passion to his content. Clintus stays ahead of the curve while keeping it real. Ooh, I like that. Let's dive into the story behind the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Clintus. Awesome, dude. What an introduction, dude.
Right?
Dude, you're like the second person where, man, that introduction got me a little winded, dude.
There's a lot there. There's a lot there.
Seriously, dude. And I totally want to dive into that, dude. I've been looking into you and all the things that you've done, your YouTube, career there,
Right.
man. So cool, dude. I can't believe that I'm actually in the presence of somebody who is doing or has done what I would want to do one day, you know? So it's so cool, man. As you know, because we've already talked a little bit about it, but I'm sure you've seen some of the pods, we like to start with people's life story, man. So take it away, Clint. Tell us about where you are from, where you are, and where you're going. And I'll chip in, man.
Born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm the oldest of three boys. My mom was a stay-at-home mom while my dad was a truck driver. So he was gone along stints. But when I was real little, I was actually on the truck with him. I think being the oldest of three, and my like sense of adventure of being with my dad on the road, and then later in life moving a lot. Like I look back and I can see these pivotal moments in my life that kind of created the person I am. I like change. I've changed careers like 4 times. And in those careers, I was there for like 6 to 8 years, and I switched positions almost every 2 years. Promotions and lateral moves and whatever. So I feel like the constant change in my life of moving kind of gave me that kind of personality trait. But then like being the oldest and then losing the attention of my mom and dad to my younger brothers, I feel like kind of gave me that kind of trait of like attention seeking, which I really wasn't like a class clown or anything like that in high school and middle school, that sort of thing. But my senior year, I had no intention of going to college, and I was going to go to DeVry, like get a tech, certification. So I'm finding some job in tech, and then I went on a field trip for senior day at the University of Advancing Technology in Tempe, Arizona, a little private college. And a guy by the name of Todd taught me how to make a 3D model of a garden hose and make water spray out of it and bounce off a wall. And it blew my mind. I was like, I want to do this. And so that day I came home, I wrote the little thing that says, hey, DeVry, give my money back. I'm canceling my application. Mom, I want to take that $100. I'm going to go to UAT. At the time it was called UACT. And I said, I want to go here for college. And so, an average student that barely got by, failed classes, had like to retake them his senior year to graduate, was going to college now, kind of on the whim. And I originally went for 3D modeling, 3D animation. And then about a year and a half in, they started a video program. And I did video production in high school. I was in yearbook. I was the sports editor for the yearbook, but then I also did video yearbook and was the editor for that. And that's where I learned how to edit video and use cameras and all that sort of thing in high school. And so when the college started the video program, I was like, I like video more than this stuff. I'm I'm not really artistic to the point where I could like draw things. So if I couldn't draw, it was hard for me to model things. You know, like I learned how to make a turtle out of a box. It took me like 3 times as long as everyone else just because I couldn't visually picture it. So I started doing video production, and I ultimately got a bachelor's degree in multimedia. Digital video production was the major. This is back when you still use tapes, but they were digital tapes, mini DV is what they were called. You had to use a FireWire to transfer the footage.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it still was like play, record. Like there was no like downloading. It was like play, record, but it was doing it digitally. I made some movies. I worked on independent films. I'm actually on IMDb. I actually have a IMDb profile, which is pretty rad.
Awesome, man.
I worked on independent films, but at the same time, I met my wife in high school. And so we were high school sweethearts that, you know, were together all through my college years. We bought a house, and then we got married, and then I graduated college, and then we got pregnant with my daughter. And so, you know, it was like that exact order. Everything was planned, so to speak. I mean, everything was planned, but hadn't quite landed the job yet. And all my friends were moving to LA to couch surf and work on sets of movies and just sleep wherever, but like working in the industry. And I had to stay at home because I had a mortgage and a family. And so I was still pursuing video production. I again started working on some productions, doing editing and whatnot. And I got my first gig in Scottsdale to work at a studio to be their video guy and also work on the movie that they had already hired me to do. It was kind of like double dipping.
Okay, cool.
Didn't work out. They closed up shop after 2 months. Still owing me my last month's worth of paychecks, which was kind of rough. But my wife and I ended up taking like a second mortgage out so I could continue working on the movies and kind of pursue that passion. You know, got the thumbs up from dad-in-law. Like, you're young, go for it. That's your dream. It's what you're in school for. I was too young, you know, it didn't work out, got into debt, that sort of thing.
Dude, let me stop you there, dude.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, so this is going to take a weird turn, dude, because we are going to focus on the things that I wanted to originally, but dude, you're striking chords with me as you speak, dude. I find a lot of resemblance between how your life has been and mine, dude. And I want to get your wisdom, dude, because obviously you've been through it, you've done it, you're here today. But I feel like I'm in the middle of that, dude. Okay. And I just want to real quick kind of comment on some of the things you said, dude. So first of all, how old were you when you got married, dude?
22.
22?
I think I got married in 22, and then my daughter was born when I was 23.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is freaky. Noah, what's going on, dude? So I got married when I was 22. I had my daughter when I was 23. Well, I didn't. My wife did. Right? Yeah. And I was pursuing my dreams at that time, dude, which for me wasn't necessarily video, but it was music. Yeah. But it was in the creative space. Yeah, kind of like the same thing, dude. I kind of saw some of my peers just kind of continue doing their thing. And then I was married. You know, I had a wife and kids and a mortgage. Yep. And then my wife got pregnant relatively quickly after my first child, or our first kid. And so I talked a little bit about that on the pod too, where we're just going through that frustration and stuff like that, man. But also I want to make a comment on what you said to your wife and then taking out the second mortgage, dude. Like, it sounds like you have a cheerleader for a wife, dude. Shout out to your wife, dude, because dude, that's a good one, dude.
She's awesome. Yeah. Well, and again, we were young. You know, this is super young, and we had equity in our first house because again, we bought a house, and this was 2007. No, it was earlier than that. My daughter was born in 4, so this is like 2005, 2006. You know, so
right before the drop.
Yes,
dude.
Yes. So that was another thing too, is we took that mortgage out, and then the drop happened. So we were kind of like locked in. A lot of people short sold their house or walked away from their houses. We just wrote it out because our original mortgage was awesome, you know, and even with the second, we were still cheaper than most people's second home. They sold it first and bought a second, and their mortgage was like, you know, twice as much. So while I was still pursuing the video thing, I was like, I gotta get a job and provide for the family, right? And I had in my head that like plan B is a corporate job that I can work up the ladder, get full benefits, you know. So if this doesn't work out, I've got a future. And I worked for Cox Communications for about 9 years, about 8.5 to 9 years.
Oh wow, dude!
And I worked, you know, like I said, I worked through, worked up the ladder. Like I was ambitious. I had worked in leadership in my previous. I worked at a restaurant for 7 years. Like I said, I switched careers 4 times. Yeah, I did restaurants for about 6-7 years,
dude.
And in that restaurant, I worked at every location they had, which was 4 at the time, and I worked at every position. I went from host, seating people, to busing, to food running, to cooking. I cooked my senior year in high school because I want to learn how to cook, and
Dude,
work the grill.
Yeah.
And then when you became 19, you could serve alcohol. I became a server. That's where the real money was. I bartended, and then at 20, they asked me to be a manager, and I was the youngest manager in the company at the time. I don't know now, but so I had leadership experience, and I enjoyed that responsibility of helping others, and like, let me help you do your job kind of thing, right? And customer service and all that. So when I was working at Cox, I had that ambition, like I want to get back into a leadership role in this environment. I thrived in a corporate environment, honestly. And so I did that, except for 8 or 9 years. That's when I started doing like the YouTube stuff, right? My YouTube channel, I started in 2006. YouTube just hit their 20-year anniversary, right? The 20-year birthday. My channel's 19. My channel's just a year younger, younger than them.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So I started doing the YouTube thing. And again, at first it was like my movie trailers and my music videos and my commercials and my production work that I was doing, that was what I was pursuing. But at the time I had found all these other like video creators. There's this whole like early group. This is like way early. They weren't even on YouTube yet. They were using other video platforms that don't even exist anymore. Making like TV shows for the web, right? They were like making web series and literally making production, like amazing production and amazing writing, but for the web. And that's their goal was like to launch it into TV career. That was their goal.
Right.
So I'm finding all these creators, these early creators, and I stumbled across my first video blog. And it was a dude. He's still around. You can see him on Instagram more than YouTube, but his name's Renetto, and he's an inventor. He was actually here locally for a long time. He's did crazy inventions. The Renetto chair. If you've ever seen this, I guarantee you've seen this. It's a fold-up chair that has a case. The case unfolds and becomes a canopy over the head. He invented that.
Get out.
That's the original Renetto chair. And he also invented like the locks on dumpsters. That's his invention. He owns that patent. Like crazy stuff like that. But his vlogs were him walking around his backyard with his laptop with a webcam.
No way.
Like this is before Apple had like actual face cams.
Right.
He actually had a webcam plugged in and attached. And he was walking around, and that was the first video blog. I mean, he's sitting there talking for like 20 minutes in his backyard about something. I don't remember. Every video was different, but he had like thousands of subs. He had hundreds of views. I'm like, at the time, I had a blog. I was writing a legit blog, and I hated it because I start with a thing this long, and then by the time I was done, it was this long. And I said, never mind, just delete it. And I wasted like 2 hours, writing nothing. Dang. I was like, I'd much rather talk than type. So I started doing video blogs. And I'd talk about, UFC or, Firefox versus Internet Explorer, the new versions, which one's better and whatever. And then one day we found out we were pregnant with our second kid, and it's a boy. And so I did a little baby announcement. Like, we're in the car. My wife did not want to be on camera at all. She's just like,
What year is this, dude?
This was 2006. 2006. He was born in 2007. So this is 2006. It's like my channel was, like I said, just created.
Dude, so time out. So restaurant industry, and then you went into working for Cox for 9 years.
Yep.
So during this period, are you still in Cox, or you're working with?
So I just started working at Cox. This is like year one.
Oh, year one. Okay.
Yeah, because we were struggling. I'd just come off doing my movies, and I was paying myself a salary based on the second mortgage. I got hired at Cox making $12 an hour, and every month we had to put at least one bill on a credit card.
Dude,
we're making enough.
Dude, so I get the timeline now.
Yeah.
Dang.
Sorry, I jumped around a lot. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Dude, so amazing. And number one, thank you for getting vulnerable like that, dude, and sharing the deets, because I'm sure there's people out there that want to do some creative stuff, but they don't realize, man, that, when you see the guy that you follow or whatever, and he's there, man, there's a story behind that. Absolutely. There, dude. You know what I'm saying? And this is it right here, dude.
Everyone starts at zero. Right? Yeah. Everyone starts with 0 followers, 0 views, 0 subscribers, like everyone. And so, but yeah, so I did this like personal post, right? Like for the first time I did this like kind of personal. I had my daughter with me. I'm like, we're having a boy, we're coming up with names. She names him, like I even forgot about this, but I had it on video, right? And we're gonna talk about my thoughts on recording video and capturing moments.
Awesome.
I have a very unique perspective about doing this for so many years. But I forgot that she actually came up with Bryce the first day. Like, I wanted to name him Roman after my grandfather. And she's like, I can't see a baby Roman. It's like, I see old man Roman, right? She wanted Bryce. And that's ultimately my son's name. But I didn't realize that she had called it that day. The day we found out it was a boy, she's like, I like Bryce. I didn't realize that. I forgot that. So I posted this video on my blog, and it got like 2-3 times as many views, way more comments, and it kind of triggered something like people actually care more about my life than my work, right? There's that personal touch. And again, this is 2006, this is early, right? So I started doing kind of a mix of, I still do a vlog about, a topic or an event that happened, but then I'd also do these like day in the life, different styles. This is back when the iPhone 4S came out. So it was doing 720p video, right? It's the first time that you could do HD on your phone. So I was doing like a lot of one takes with my phone, just record and upload, no editing, just, one takes. I was doing like this thing called, my buddy came up with called a swish vlog. Remember those red, you put the disc in, you click and it would turn the pictures?
Right.
He came up with this idea of like flipping your phone. And so you start recording the ground and you swipe up, do a couple seconds and then swipe up again. But then the next video would do the swipe. So you're like swiping through their day.
I see.
And I was like, I did that for like a month or so. And I was like, I love this because it's my day. And I'm taking you through my day in just a couple second chunks. I'm like, what if I started talking more about my day throughout my day? And I would do like random vlogs, taking my kids out to the mall or to the playground, right? And it would just do like a 5-minute edited video because I had the skills to edit,
What did you use to edit it back then?
So when I was on my PC days, it was Premiere, Adobe Premiere. And when I switched to Mac, I used iMovie for many years. And then I eventually got to Final Cut Pro. Cool. I used Final Cut Pro 7, and then eventually they went to the X model when they did the App Store on like the big computers.
Right.
So I've used Final Cut Pro for the last, I don't know.
Yeah, I use Final Cut Pro, dude. I love Final Cut Pro, dude.
Yeah, and I know there's, for those video editors, inspiring video editors, DaVinci is a free version, a free editing program on Windows, on PC. And it has the ability to mimic other programs. So if you're coming from Apple, if you're coming from Final Cut, you can make it look like Final Cut. You can make it look like Premiere. You can make it look like Avid.
Dude.
Yeah, my son uses it, and that's one of the things he did was he edited on my computer, so he was familiar with Final Cut. So when he installed DaVinci, it asked him right away, it's like, do you want to import any of these? And he picked Final Cut. He's like, oh my God, this looks just like your computer. I'm like, this is awesome. So
dude.
That's a cool little tidbit there.
Thank you for that, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started doing like the vlogs, and then in 2000. God, I don't remember this timeline now. I think it's 2011. I got my kids dirt bikes for Christmas. And in March, the end of March, or April 1st, I started my daily vlog, right? The genre started popping up. There was a couple big YouTubers that were doing daily vlogs where they were literally making a video every day. So like whatever happened today got posted tomorrow. And that was like that, accountability thing. And I had one guy that was just a couple. It was him and his girlfriend at the time, fiance. And then this guy who has like 3 little kids. So I saw the family aspect and I saw like the adult side. I'm like, there's an audience for this. And so I did give myself a 30-day challenge. I'm gonna do 30 days of everyday vlogging. And while I was doing the daily vlogs, that Christmas video had started picking up views, kind of went viral. And so these two things happened at the same time. And so it was like, I'm getting all this attention from this video. But then when they went to my channel, they're like, oh, he's a daily vlogger. This is cool. His kids are grown up. I'm going to follow him. And my channel just started growing. And so these two things kind of happened at the same time. And my channel just exponentially started growing, where after 2 years of doing the daily vlogs, my YouTube checks were as much as my Cox checks.
Get out.
And I was like, I'm at the point now where I've seen the landscape. I've seen people quit their jobs, go full-time YouTube, hear the kind of money they're making, see the brand deals they're doing. I'm like, I can do this.
Dude, so time out. So a few things in there, dude. So first of all, how were you feeling, or what was the feeling like when you started to gain the followers, dude? Like, what were your initial thoughts?
Well, so I was had a very unique situation where I was picking up the subscribers, and they were growing exponentially. And that wasn't back then. It still is a big metric now, but now it's vanity. Follower counts, the sub counts are a vanity number. They really don't mean nearly as much as they used to. And we can talk about that in a minute as well.
For sure.
The landscape's changed with social media because of algorithms and AI and TikTok. All right, so we can talk about that. But back then, the sub count really mattered. Follow count really mattered. I wasn't getting my views from my subs, though. When you looked at my analytics, I got way more views from non-subscribers, which means the algorithm was feeding my videos to them. And I noticed a change in 2017 when it went from, and I can't remember which way it went. It was either we used to get recommended and now we got suggested, or we got suggested and now we get recommended. But whatever happened, that's when things started to change with what they recommended to viewers. That hurt me. That hurt my channel. Because I quickly realized my views weren't coming from my subscribers. Even though I was gaining a lot of subscribers, most of my views came from recommendations and suggestions. and the algorithm was feeding these people. Now all of a sudden that got turned off, I got to see what my actual view count was from my community.
I see, dude.
So,
dude, so moving past that to a different topic, so that's the feeling when you're getting the subscribers. But
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question. I apologize. So I was getting all those subscribers, and obviously it felt amazing to see the growth, to see like, okay, people are enjoying my videos. But I quickly realized that my dirt bike videos are what was driving the traffic. So when I post a dirt bike video, that video would blow up, and that's a great feeling because you're seeing all those views. Views equal dollars. Those are those videos that made me the money, right? And so I realized, like, even though I saw the sub count going up, it wasn't as impactful as I thought. I figured this out very early because my channel was like this like perfect storm of everything happening at once. All of a sudden, with one thing was pulled out, it was like a Jenga, man. It kind of fell, collapsed. So even though the number felt good, and we celebrated milestones. I quit my job at the end of 2014. Like my kids had that winter break, that 2-week break.
right,
I quit right before that. So I got the full 2 weeks vacation before I went full time back to work. Right.
So cool.
That was a super awesome feeling to say I'm quitting my job to pursue YouTube. Everyone was like cheering me on, like, oh my God, congrats. That's amazing. Good luck. We'll be following you. I quit at like 72,000 subs, which was unheard of.
Okay.
I reached out to a financial advisor like group that did taxes for YouTubers and entertainment. And when I came to them saying, hey, I'm going to quit my job, they're like, don't. Like, you only have 72,000 subs. Like, you're not making enough money. Is it sustainable? Well, and then I shared my analytics with them, and they're like, how are you getting that many views? And then again, we went down the rabbit hole and realized you are this perfect storm. Okay, you're doing well enough. Your numbers are exponentially growing. So I quit at 72,000. I hit 100,000 in like March or April, almost around my anniversary. And I told my audience, I said, when we hit 100,000 subs, I'm going to go buy a new dirt bike. So like it was like this incentive and a celebration when it happened, and it did. Hit 100,000. I went out the next day, bought a brand new dirt bike. That video like blew up. We went from 100,000 subs to 200,000 subs in like a month, in like 2 months.
Crazy.
It was something short. It was like we doubled, right? Because of all the hype and excitement. Quit my job, full-time YouTuber, buying a dirt bike. But again, it was like you see certain numbers and it's like, I figured out the game, okay? I could do all these regular days, regular videos, and then I do something with my kids, it blow up. Regular day, do something with my kids, it blow up. Dirt bikes blow up. Like it became very apparent that like the daily vlog is like YouTube is today. It's topic based. When the topic is something that is highly searchable or my audience is highly gravitates towards, it does well, and that still holds true today.
Seriously, dude.
If my kid's in the thumbnail, or it's about a topic that I garnered a lot of views from in the past, those viewers come back, those videos get recommended, and so like it's the game's still the same, and I figured it out way early.
Dude, that's crazy, man. So real quick, just going back. So you said that after 2 years, so you were putting in work for 2 years, dude. At this point, you're just doing the daily vlogs, right? Yep. But then you're starting to notice the patterns that are getting you the views. So it took you 2 years of grinding to get to the point where you quit your job.
Yes.
And at this point, you said that your income from YouTube was matching your income from Cox. Is that yearly or was that like monthly?
Well, at the time, the thing is, my pay on YouTube, like I said, continued to grow. So like, and that you get paid monthly. So it's one lump sum every month.
Okay,
right?
with
so
YouTube?
Your ad revenue. And that's pretty much across the board for all social media platforms.
I see.
Like Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. It's a 1 month,
lump sum.
Yeah, lump sum, right. So yeah, what I was getting paid monthly was what I was getting paid monthly from Cox.
I see.
And granted, this is net, right? Because the taxes are being taken out on YouTube.
Right.
Taxes are being taken out of my paychecks at work, and the numbers were the same. So I'm like, okay, well, right now that money is the same. If the the trajectory continues to grow, next month I'll make more than I was making here at Cox.
Yeah.
And it did. It just exponentially grew a lot.
Dude, so real quick, when you make the decision, do you feel like in your mind, were you pretty certain that if you went in full time, it was going to grow, or were you taking a risk? I mean, it was taking a risk regardless.
Both.
But were you pretty certain, like, nah, this is going to work, or you were like, you know what, I'm gonna risk it all, man, because I love this.
So, I had a conversation with my father-in-law and then my wife. We were at her parents' house at the time, and I told them what I was thinking. I was thinking, I'm going to quit my job at Cox, and I'm gonna go full time on this YouTube thing.
Mm.
And this time it was different than the movie time, because the movie time was 100% like a dream. Like, I got nothing, but we're going to go for it. This time was different because I actually had tangible, like, I can show you my bank statements. I can show you the numbers.
Right.
I can pull a report for the last 365 days. And so it was an easy sell for him. He was like, you know what you're doing, Clint. Like obviously what you're doing is working. If you were to not have to go to work and spend 55 plus hours there, just think how much more you could do with this. I said, that's my thoughts. That's my plan. And so I told my wife, and when she heard her dad kind of have my back again, she was reluctant at first because we did gone through it, and you know, we're still paying off that debt. And so she was more reluctant the second time. But again, I kind of had like the data to show her, like, I wouldn't do this. Like, I've got a good thing going with Cox, right? I've got a pension, got a 401k, got full benefits, you know, making good money. There's more ladders to climb, but this is what I went to school for. This is what I love. It's where all I give up all my other hobbies and stuff like this. That was it. So, she kind of gave me the heads up. I remember we hugged and we cried, and it was like, let's do this.
No way, dude. What a moment, dude.
Yeah. So,
you know what, dude? Shout out to your father-in-law, dude, because damn, you said he agreed on, or not agreed, but kind of gave you the green light the second time, dude.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, dude. Pretty unheard of. I mean, like, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
I'm very fortunate. In fact, I just had a moment. We were with all of my wife's family just this last week, because her sister, all her families live here. She has one sister lives in Florida.
Oh, interesting.
And it's been like 4 years since she's visited, because she went from Texas to Florida, so it's even further away. Mm-hmm. And they're like building a new house and you know, a different lifestyle, they're changing things up. So it was one of those things where she hadn't visited in a while. It was her mom's 75th birthday like 2 weeks ago, and so we surprised her by bringing her out and totally like surprised her, her daughter visiting, her granddaughter as well. But anyway, we had a moment. We were at brunch together, and I just remember I grabbed my father-in-law's arm and I said, I just wanted to thank you. I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again right now. This exact moment.
Powerful, dude.
Thank you for letting me be a part of your family. I said, growing up, I had a pretty close family, but when we got older, we all kind of grew apart. And not like I see my brothers every day. I work with my dad and my brothers every day, but like, we grew apart. And I said, your family filled that void. And like, my kids grew up with, their cousins on this side of the family, and we're all close, and we do things because of you. Like, you're Papa Bear, right? Like, we still go to your house for pool parties and birthdays and stuff like you've held down that love and that family unit. And I said, I just feel completely honored and lucky to have, found this. Because even to this day, you talk to people that are married, and they're like, they don't have the best relationship with their in-laws, or they don't get the support from their in-laws, or their in-laws live out of state and they don't visit, like you get that one phone call a year kind of thing. I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky.
Dude, thank you for sharing that, dude. That's powerful, dude.
Yeah,
that's powerful there, dude. It speaks into who you are as a person, man. And I love your vibe, dude. Just going through your videos and stuff like that. Even just today, dude, I was like, man, this guy's got a cool vibe. You're a cool dude. And just real quick, since we're on the topic, I just wanted to give you your flowers. I like to say on the pod, I like to give you your flowers. Not just you, but everybody who comes. Because I could totally sense the good vibes with you and your kids, dude, And as a father, that's something that I want to mimic, dude, and not just from you, but men like you, know, who invest in their kids, and it looks like you guys have a great relationship. That's awesome, dude.
I think a big part of it is I wanted to be a dad, right? Like, my wife, we met early in high school. I was a junior, she was a sophomore. And like, very quickly when you talked about the future, we had a lot of the same alignments, right? Like, we both wanted to, both our families come like we were young kids. Like, both our parents started young with their kids. They were married young. They were high school sweethearts. Very similar stories. So we've kind of followed in our parents' footsteps, so to speak, with the way we started our family. And so we just had like a lot of the same things. Like, all my wife wanted to be when she grew up was a mom.
Cool, dude.
She didn't really have any career aspirations. She really didn't know what she wanted to do. And because if I had mine, I was going to school and got my degree, it was like, okay, your turn. Like, you want to be a mom? Let's do this. I'm ready. I'll get a job, but we got the house and we got everything secured. Let's go. And so I think that was a big big proponent of us being good, being parents, is that we wanted to be parents. We chose to be parents. And then when I quit my job to do the YouTube thing full time, and money continued to grow, the business started growing. We started actual LLC and everything. She was able to quit her job, and I was able to give her dream job of being a full-time mom.
Awesome.
And
dude.
so she was a stay-at-home mom for the entire duration that I was doing the YouTube thing full-time and the streaming thing full-time. And so she, I give all the credit to the kids are awesome because she was there for them, all the time.
Yeah, dude. What a story, man. That's awesome, dude. Dude, real quick, going back to the YouTube stuff. So early on, dude, even in 2000, so you started in 2016, you said?
2006 when I started the channel, yeah.
All right. In 2006, 2 years, so that would put you at 2008. At 2008, YouTube's already paying AdSense.
The partner program had started, I think, in late 2007, like December 2007, and I got in the partner program, I think, in 2008. It took me 6 years to get my first YouTube check. They don't pay until you get $100. It took me 6 years to get $100.
No way, dude.
And then 6 years turned into 6 months. Got my second check. 6 months, I think, was maybe 2.5, like that. Got my next check, and then I got a check that for the first like month, and then every month after that, I got a check.
No way, dude.
And it just slowly built up.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Dang, that's so cool. All right, moving on to your Twitch, dude. So tell us about that, dude.
Yeah, so I've been live streaming almost as long as I've been doing video blogs. Back in the day, there were multiple live stream platforms that some still exist and some don't. There's Ustream, which is now like a corporate, like very like businessy, corporate live streaming. There was Justin TV, which is what Twitch is now, and there was Blog TV, which is, I don't know if it's still around, but it used to be called YouNow. So that if it's still around, it's called YouNow. And then of course YouTube had a live stream component, but it was very janky, and you had to use. Like everyone uses OBS now to stream, but back then everyone streamed through the website. YouTube required you to download this third-party app that no one understood how to use. And it was very janky. But I did stream on YouTube because I had my YouTube channel. And so Friday nights, my wife would go to work. I would feed the kids, get them situated, and then I would do a live Q&A is what I called it. And I do that every Friday. When I quit my job, I moved it to Wednesdays and Fridays. I did 2 a week. And I really loved live streaming because vlogging's cool. But then you have to post the video and then wait for the comments to come in, right? And the comments are this, like almost like a snail mail, right? Let me write you a letter, send it. Now wait for you to respond. Whereas live streaming is like text messages, like an instant messenger, right? I say something, you say something back. I say something back, and we have this conversation. So I loved live streaming early days. And then phones started getting more sophisticated with the internet, and we had 2 apps called Periscope and Meerkat, and you could go live from your phone. And I was like, this is the... Am I allowed to swear?
Dude, you can do whatever you want.
I don't know. I didn't want to be careful. Sorry.
Hey,
I should have
keep it real right here.
I should have, yeah. I'm being very tame. I
Hey, be yourself, man. I don't want anybody else but yourself, man.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so Meerkat and Periscope, and I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing because I was a big fan of mobile on the fly. Yeah. I created a third YouTube channel. So I had Clintus TV. That's my original OG channel. And then I created Clintus Games, which was my gaming channel. I would do like video gameplays of like Call of Duty, GTA, whatever. I'd record videos and almost like a vlog. I'd talk over the gameplay and then post it, right? I created a third channel called Clintus Now. And the idea behind this was I'm going to record from my phone and upload it immediately to YouTube. And this is what's happening right now. This is Clintus right now.
Interesting, dude.
This is before Instagram and Twitter and Facebook had mobile video. You couldn't post video from your phone, right?
Right.
And those platforms didn't even have video. They barely just had photos. So I thought this was a cool concept. And then I set up this third-party app that when I posted a video, it would then share the video to Twitter, to Facebook. And I did this all mobile. I would post it and then it'd go live. I wouldn't have to do anything, you know? Like now you have to share on 10 socials and stuff, right?
Right.
But then very quickly mobile video came around with other platforms and that channel died very quickly because I was like, I'm gonna use Instagram to send people to my YouTube. I'm gonna use Facebook to send, right? But yeah, so I've always been into live stream. Well, then I found Twitch. I was playing video games and doing YouTube videos, but then I found Twitch and I started kind of dabbling because you go live right from your PlayStation. You didn't have to have any special setups or anything like that. And all of a sudden, YouTube announces, I don't know if it was at VidCon or E3, but YouTube announces YouTube Gaming, a whole separate platform, a whole separate website. It was still fed into YouTube, but it had its own website, right? It was black background versus YouTube's white background. And they had a logo and and they were announcing live streaming, and it was kind of like they were trying to compete with Twitch. And so I was super stoked because I already had a YouTube channel with 40,000 subs, right? My gaming channel. I was like, I'm just gonna go live here. Forget Twitch. I'm start with 0 at Twitch or start with 40,000 here, right? So when YouTube Gaming launched, I went in on it. I started streaming it. I was one of the first featured streamers. So on the sidebar, like now when you log into Twitch, there's featured streamers on the side. YouTube Gaming had the same thing. I was one of those featured streamers. So anytime I was live, I was always on the sidebar.
Nice.
So my channel grew real quick. I got my second silver play button for 100K, and things were going really well, except everyone's attention was on Twitch. All the game developers, all the sponsorships, everybody wanted the Twitch numbers. They didn't care about YouTube. And so I started having talks with Twitch. And in January, February of 2017, I started to negotiate a contract with them. And I came over to Twitch as a partner. They gave me like a sign-on bonus. And I moved my audience to Twitch. Now, one of the stipulations with that was you had to be exclusive to Twitch. So all live streaming, I couldn't like do just gaming. I originally wanted to do just gaming on Twitch and still do my like just chatting IRL streams on my Clintus TV channel, right? Because at the time I was doing mobile streams to my YouTube channel. So I don't know if this is still out. I'm sure you can still Google it, but I got early access to live streaming on mobile for YouTube. At the same time, I also got early access to their super chats. It was a way to tip people while you were live.
No way, dude.
And so I went live while I was shopping at Target. And I'm walking around Target. And this is, again, the IRL streams are huge now. People have these backpack rigs. I own one of the backpack rigs. You can walk around live streaming 1080p, anywhere. So this is unheard of back, I don't even know what the year this was. But I'm walking around Target with my phone live streaming. I'm like, hey guys, about this. Hey, I want to get some beef jerky. What do you guys think about beef jerky? And all of a sudden someone goes, here's $20. Get the mango habanero.
Get out.
And then
dude.
another guy goes, here's 15. Grab the teriyaki. And then boom. People are like, buy this one. I walked away grossing, and I say gross because they take their cut, but I grossed $500.
Just by
Being
shopping.
live in Target. They were paying and throwing money at it because this is a new concept. Like, what is this? This is awesome. This is cool.
Yeah.
Now YouTube takes 30% of that. So of the, I made 70% of 500. Still made enough news that I got interviewed by like the Washington Post, and I don't know if it was New York Times. There's two news. There's two articles out there somewhere about this, but
from that live, dude.
From that live stream, yeah, because it made headways because YouTube was promoted. They're like, dude, this guy made $500 walking around Target. Like, you could do that too by streaming on YouTube, right? Like that was the thing. So I got a couple interviews, but again, this was early days where I was like, this is the shit. I want to be live on the go. I want to be,
seriously, dude.
I was already doing the vlogs on the go. Now I can be live on the go. Like again, there's this power of like mobile technology, mobile internet, mobile video production, right? I loved it. And so 2017, I signed my contract with Twitch and I moved all my live content to Twitch. I rebranded my Clintus Games Twitch channel to just Clintus. So now my Twitch channel mirrored my YouTube channel, and Clintus Games kind of took a back seat because I couldn't stream there anymore. So I still try to put videos up there, but the love was on the live stream side.
Right.
And I've already made it as a YouTuber, right? I was full-time YouTube now for like 3 years. My channel went to places I never thought it would be. I was making money that I never thought I was going to make. We were looking at buying a new house because we had outgrown our original house. We were there for 14 years. So I was like, time to move.
Right.
And so I started like really focusing on Twitch because I fell in love with that live streaming and that the instant gratification. And all of a sudden now I had a new challenge. I had a new mountain to climb. I wanted to be a full-time Twitch streamer. And so I used the income from making YouTube videos, and I still made my vlogs, but over time I kind of like lost interest. And I don't want to say I got burned out. Eventually I got burned out, but at this time it was just like I was more focused on Twitch. Right. I wanted to be live in that chair playing video games and talking to people for 24/7. But I treated it like a job. My kids went to school. I'd go live. I'd get off before the kids got home from school. I didn't stream in the evenings unless the kids were busy or unless there was a big game drop, a big hype thing. Like, hey, I'm gonna get back on at night because my friends all had regular jobs. So I streamed during the day when they were working. They'd be at their desk, hanging out with me, and then they go home. Let's play games together, right? And so yeah, I did Twitch from 2017 to 2020, right before the pandemic. This is when Mixer. I don't know if you heard of Mixer.
No, I haven't.
So Mixer was originally called Beam. It was a Twitch competitor, and they changed it to Mixer, and then Microsoft bought them. And so now it was a Microsoft streaming platform. Well, they had some big money to throw around, and they threw a contract out to a big streamer called Ninja. And he was at the time the biggest streamer on the platform. He was playing Fortnite with Drake, and he was on the Tonight Show, and he was playing with all these big streamers. It was the first time that Twitch went mainstream. So they offered him some ridiculous contract to go to Mixer and exclusively stream on Mixer. And it was the first time you saw like a sports level contract
Get out, dude.
move over, right?
Dang.
And so he was just the first. A bunch of others moved over. So all of a sudden now this is happening. Twitch
So he took it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he went and a bunch of the guys went. I have a couple friends that went too. It's no longer exists. Microsoft closed up the shop and everybody moved back to wherever they wanted to go, but they all got the money. They walked away with their bag.
Dang, dude.
So it was a win there. But because that was happening, Twitch started offering contracts to other streamers. So I actually got a contract in 2020. It was basically a salary to stream a certain amount of hours and run a certain amount of ads. It was pretty simple. But it gave me that security that says I'm locked in for at least 2 years. But in my head, I was thinking like, well, once they offer you a contract, I'll get one of these contracts like every year, right? Because like even if I'll take the same amount of money, just pay me the same money. I don't ask for a raise. And then at one point, I was like, you can even pay me less. This is great. I got my income over here. I got my income over here. Now I'm getting this income here. But it didn't last. 2 years, that contract was up. Mixer was gone. The competition kind of was settled, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't need to do that anymore. We'll do it to the top tier, but your level, we don't need that anymore." So while I was focusing on Twitch, and I was like, I had to stream 40 hours a week now, I kind of let the YouTube channel die. I was vlogging every day. Then I went down to twice a week. I'd do like a week vlog and a weekend vlog, and then that turned into once a week. Then it turned into just special occasions and when things happened. And I think the longest I went without posting a video, it might have been 2 months. I think it was just like a birthday party or Christmas or something like that. And that was it. I kind of like let the channel die because I was like, Twitch, streaming, gaming, all that. I loved it. I was just all into it, right? All the conferences I went to were gaming related or streaming related, not YouTube related. I kind of let that just world die. But unfortunately, when the Twitch contract ended, I was like, okay, now what, right? Like I'm still doing well on Twitch, but like I almost kind of got that burnout again, right? That's like I said, a 7-year itch.
Right.
And
So real quick, the contract is up. At this point, did you revive the other channel or no?
Not yet. Like I said, at that point, I was like, I'm not sure. Like I started talking about like I need to do something with the channel. Like I feel like I need to bring back the vlogs, but I'm not sure if I want to go back to daily or if I'm going to do weekly.
But not the vlogs, the YouTube gaming.
No, the YouTube gaming. Like at that point, it was dead because I wouldn't even post videos. And at some point, I lost monetization because if you're not keeping up with your numbers, you lose partnership, you lose the monetization.
Right.
So the Clintus games, the YouTube channel, it was completely dead. But that kind of like opened up a door to like what's next, and it just serendipity happened. My dad and my brother need some help with the family business, and I was like, oh, I'll come help you out for a little bit. I got some time, right? And what I thought was gonna be a part-time, short time, turned into be here I am almost 3 years later. Helping them grow the business and get my dad to retirement. So I told my Twitch community, like, I'm going to take a break, but I'll be back, thinking naively that they'd wait for me. And unfortunately I realized after those months of break that they all found other places and other communities to go. Right. So when I went to live on Twitch, it wasn't the same. The vast majority of people weren't there. The support wasn't there, and it just didn't feel the same. Right. Plus I'm working 50 hours a week again at a job, and I didn't have the mental capacity. My hours changed. It was just, nothing was the same. But after about a year of doing like nothing, I was like, I need some kind of creative outlet. I needed something again, right? And this is September. So come October, I saw somebody talk about them doing Vlogtober. And I've heard of this before. There's multiple vlog challenges out there. There's one in April, there's one in December, there's one in October. This is Vlogtober. They're like, I'm gonna do a 30-day challenge of doing a vlog every day. Let's see how long I can make it. If I can make it this far, I'll give this much money to charity, kind of thing, right? I was like, Vlogtober? I'm like, 30 days? I can do, like, that's nothing. So I was like, I'll do Vlogtober. Hey guys, we're doing Vlogtober. Like, let's get the hype going, right? It took me 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my God, I miss this. I miss the grind. I miss the talking to a camera. I miss the process. Like, and I was hooked. And that's what I started doing the daily vlogs again. And so now it's been almost 2 years. And I love it. And at this point, like I've always said, I'd never not vlog. I'm like, I'll always vlog. But like now, legitimately, like this is my hobby. Like this is my passion. I don't like right now. It's all I want to do. I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm like taking tips and tricks. I'm playing with AI. I'm like fully back into love. I love it.
Yeah, awesome, dude. Awesome. I want to go back real quick to when the first day you live streamed, dude, and you were in Target, dude. I want you to help me understand the mind of just people out there, dude, because you said, dude, I'm gonna go live. You go live, and then you're like, hey, you're talking about beef jerky. Somebody just randomly is like, hey, here's $20, $15, and you end up making $500, bro. Like, it just blows my mind, dude. Maybe I can't wrap my head around it, but I've tried to understand that world. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just kind of want you to speak into that. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think entices people to do that? You know, to participate in that way, not just monetarily, but like the engagement part of the live streaming. What do you think it is, dude? Because like, from my perspective, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I'm wired, but I don't want to be watching somebody. I want to be the guy doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. Well, as far as the watching part, I think that, again, the original intention with Twitch specifically was video games, right? So you're a gamer. You like playing Destiny or Escape from Tarkov or, you know, whatever game you're into. And so you happen to, like, I've heard of Twitch. Like, maybe like there's people playing this game. I want to learn how to do something. I want to, like, you start to learn. It's not like watching a video, but now you can actually talk to the person that's in the video, right? Hey man, what are your thoughts on this weapon type? I got two different versions, these perks and these perks. Which one would you use? And now this person will be like, oh man, honestly, my exact role is these 3 perks. This is what I'd recommend. If you've got that option, that's your best gun. Oh, all right, cool, thanks man, I appreciate it, right? So it's that learning aspect. There's 3 pillars when it comes to streaming. One is the educational piece. One is learning something from the person that you're watching, just like a how-to video on YouTube, how to change, you know, my spare tire, how to change my oil in my car, right? The second one is entertainment, purely just watching, whether you interact or not, you're watching for the entertainment value. This person is funny. This person is engaging. Their gameplay might be funny, like whatever game they're playing, maybe they're role playing and they're just being goofy on the microphone, right? So it's that entertainment value. The third pillar, and this is kind of where I felt like I personally fell into, is more of that camaraderie, community building. And to this day, with my vlogs and when I do live stream, my whole like presence is like right now. You and I are just hanging out. We're just shooting the shit, having a conversation.
Yeah.
But we're doing it via a camera. We're doing it via an internet connection, right? Like I'm live, I'm on the mic, I'm on camera. You can see my hands, what I'm doing, and I'm seeing your chat, right? So it is a little disconnected that way, but that's also just the nature of you know, content creation in general. It's one to many. When you put out your podcast, right? Like when you put out your reels and your clips. So I think there's that element of like what it is that you're looking for when you go to the website, because you're going to the website, you're going to the app. You're looking for something. Is it educational? Is it entertainment, or is it looking for companionship? And so I think that was a big thing with my YouTube channel. Very quickly, I realized that it was younger individuals looking for a family dynamic, looking for a family structure. I still get comments today that I was like a father figure for some people because they didn't have a father. They didn't have a father.
Yeah.
They, you know, didn't like their family, but they loved going home every day and watching our videos before they went to bed or before they went to school. And so, I've always held that same mentality of like, let's just hang out. Let's hang out. You know, when I start my videos, I say, hey friend, welcome to Tuesday. Welcome back to another vlog. I stopped saying guys. Hey guys. Hey everyone. I say you. I say friend. I say, you know, I'll see you tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Let's hang out. You know, like it clicked for me, you know, at some point where it's like, when you're watching my video, it's just you. There is no group. You're not with anybody else.
Right.
So you're watching me, I'm talking to you.
Right.
And so I try to like keep that mentality. Like when I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to just you.
Dude, you seem to have an intuition, dude, as far as like to be able to recognize the pattern and then just kind of honing into it. You know what I'm saying? Like you recognize the pattern with your videos, and then you recognize the pattern that, hey, my followers or my live streamers, dude, like they want a sense of community, man, camaraderie,
absolutely,
family. Like that's pretty cool, man. And I think that plays into your success, obviously, right? Like
one other thing too about going back to the $500 target stream, the incentive. I think the reason why people want to give money, like the monetization part of it, is the second layer of what I was just saying, where they know that they can give me $5, $10, $20, and they're helping me out, right? Like, hey, here's like buying a beer for a friend. Hey, let me buy you a beer. Hey, let's meet it for coffee. Right? I got this. Whatever. They can do that from the comfort of their home, from the comfort of their handheld device, right? They click a button, choose the amount, put a little message in there. They get a shout out from me. People love those shout outs, man. Like, yo, Wiffy, my man, thank you so much, bro. Tomorrow's coffee's on you. Appreciate you. How does that make you feel, man? Like, to hear me say that? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I didn't even give you money, and that felt good.
But
right
you know what I'm saying?
now,
So that's what I'm saying. So there's that inherent thing, and people love to hear their name. They want to see or hear, the person that they're a fan of, right? The person they follow, say their name. Yeah. Give them props. Because now, if they're really savvy, they clipped that. Now they got a video of it. Yo, Clintus said my name, and I played into that. Like I at one point was like, I had a call sign. I kind of do it every once in a while, but I'm like vlog on. That was like my sign off, hashtag vlog on, my shirts. Like it was, that's my thing. So at one point I was like, hey,
trademark.
Send me videos of you saying vlog on. Like say, your name and where you're from and say vlog on. And I started putting those videos in the end of my videos. So you could be in my vlog. And I'm like, dude, I had 30, 50 submissions a month. Like just boom. And at some point I was like, I can't do this anymore, guys. Like this is getting too crazy out of hand. I forget who I put in, who I haven't, I wasn't organized enough for that.
Yeah.
But again, people love to be a part of something. And so by you giving me $5, it ain't nothing for you. You're getting that shout out. Everyone's like, yo, Wiffy, you're the man, dude. That's awesome. Let's go. And then Twitch has all these incentives that you get a special badge, you get unlock emotes, you get to have a special title. Your name is up on the top of the chat for a week, right? Like who's the top dog, man? Wiffy's dropped $50 this week. Let's go, man. And someone's like, I got you. Boom, 55. You're like, oh, there were tip-offs, man. I had tip-offs in my chat.
Yeah. As you're sitting there, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'd lose my mind, man. I mean, I cried on stream more times than I can remember. Honestly, legitimately. I don't remember the most. I should know this, but I like some crazy number, like.
Was it one dude or just?
No, people were fighting. People were like fighting, like top dog. And they're like, I've tapped out. It's like, but at that point, you've already dropped $500.
Get out, dude.
I think I'm guessing. I want to say I made like $3,000 in one stream.
No way.
And it was like this constant battle that they were just
start live streaming right now, buddy.
they were trying to outdo each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people got like the whales, right? The whales.
Yeah.
But that only happens every once in a while. It's not like they do it every week.
Right.
So I'd have an amazing month, and you're like, holy crap. And then the next month is back to normal, right? But then you still have those whales that were like, every time they came in, it was $50. Every day. Every time they came in, it was like, boom, they have some kind of joke or pun. The alerts go off, right? There's alerts, and everyone in chat's like, yo, Bill, let's go. Like, the king is back, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's just, to go back to your original question, I think the two parts is one, you come to a live stream or video looking for something. And then once you've found it, it's on the content creator, the streamer, to build that sense of community to give you a reason to come back. And especially when you're on a schedule, right? I was on a schedule with my streams. Every day, 8 a.m., I'm live. Start off with some coffee. How's it going, man? How was your night? How's your kid, man? How's your kid's soccer game last night? Was it good? They win? Oh, that's awesome, bro. I'm glad to hear that, Hey, man, how's that baby girl? She's getting big. I saw your post on Instagram, dude. She's getting big teeth. We'd have this conversation for the first hour of every stream. No video games, just chatting, right? Sipping my coffee. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick ad break, use the restroom. We're going to get into this video game, man. Today, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, all right? Stick around. Boom. I run in some ads, come back, get into the game. Now we're playing video games for the next, 7-8 hours. And you're there maybe first for me, and you're like, I don't really like this game. I'm out, Clint. I'll see you later. All right, Clint, I'll see you tomorrow. Or you're like, oh no, I'm here for the game. Let's go. I can't wait to see what this new stuff, right? Hey, did you hear about this news? Did you try this new weapon? Did you check out this map? What part of the game are we in? What level are we on? What mission are we on? Right? Like there's a sense of like we're in it with you. Like
right.
You're not choosing your own adventure, but you're there for the ride. Especially when I was playing like story-based games, right? You were there every day. You got to follow the story with me, right? Most of the time I played PvP, multiplayer games. So it was more like, let's watch Clintus either get dunked on or let's watch Clintus dunk on others,
Dude, so cool, man. So stinking cool, dude. Hey, man, so you're in your experience, man, 20 years, dude, of being in the game.
Yep.
For somebody who's starting, well, first, before I ask that question, let me ask this question, dude. How do you feel the game has changed, man?
Yeah. So I kind of alluded to that earlier. You know, if you listen to you know, influencers in the social game, guys like Gary Vee, you know, he talks about the interest graph versus the social graph. So when these platforms started, follower count was everything, right? Because it was just like you follow, you're going to see who you follow. So follow people to see their stuff more, you know, more often. And so the more followers you had, the more impressions your content was going to get. And then TikTok happened, and TikTok came up with the For You page, where they algorithmically served you videos that they thought you would like based on your interactions. Now, YouTube already had something similar to this on their homepage, but it wasn't nearly as good. And like I said, 2017 is when things started to go in that direction of like, you know, before that, it was like, oh, you're watching a Clintus dirt bike video? Here's some more Clintus videos. Now, in 2017, it was, oh, you like Clintus's dirt bike video? Here's some more dirt bike videos. May or may not be Clintus. A lot of times they weren't. And so that's where like I said, my views fell off, because before it was like you watched one, the person would watch 10 more.
Right.
And I could see the rabbit hole. I could see the chain. They cut that chain, and it was now more topic based. Fast forward to today, that's where every platform is. And it's hard because I hear people complain about their feed, and they complain about what they see, and they don't realize how the game is played. The more whatever you're doing, whether you do it or not, even if you don't do it, that's a sign to the algorithm, right? And I can speak to YouTube very clearly. The other platforms are very similar to this, so I just say it's kind of the algorithm in general. But like with YouTube, for example, when you pull up your phone or the desktop, youtube.com, you get that homepage. That homepage is algorithmically generated based on your previous watch history and interactions. You're going to see some videos from channels you subscribe to, but you're also going to see a lot of videos of channels you don't subscribe to.
Right.
You're going to see videos that have millions of views, and you're going to see videos that have dozens of views. And they do that on purpose. And every time you go to that page and you hit refresh, you're going to get a different set of videos. You'll get some of the similar ones because they're like, they really think you're going to like this video. They're going to show it to you like 10 times. But that one guy they showed you for the first time ever, and you didn't even wait and you didn't even pause on his video, that's a sign that says you're not interested. So they're going to show you that video less. They're going to show you his videos less. And so it's this constant push and pull. And one of the things I say a lot, and this isn't my words, I've heard a lot of people say this. When people say, I'm making the video for the algorithm, or the algorithm doesn't like this, change the word algorithm to audience. So it's like the audience didn't like this video. The audience didn't click on this video. And so when you are interacting with the feed, whether it's X or Instagram or YouTube, every interaction you take, how long you watch the video, how long it took for you to swipe, did you swipe back to it? Did you like it? Did you share it? Did you leave a comment? Did you read the comments? All those interactions give the algorithm signs to give you more or less of that content. So very different today. As someone, I'm rebuilding my YouTube channel, right? I still have 800,000 subscribers, but the vast majority of them are dead. They don't watch my videos. They're not interested, whether the channels are even still active or not. You know, I get closed channels every month. I see a drop off in subs where you look in the analytics and it says closed accounts. So YouTube is closing these accounts because they're being inactive for so long.
Right.
And so it's I'm still on the grind, and it feels very nostalgic back in the day of growing my channel from scratch. But at the same time, it is following a different pattern because of the way that the algorithm works now. And I try to study this by watching other people's videos and then looking at the sidebar, you know, and I'll even log it out of my account and log into my son's account or my daughter's account just to purely see what they see. And it's hard because it's still the same IP address. It's still the same, you know, YouTube has enough information to know that you're relatively the same.
Right.
But it does give me different perspectives.
Interesting, dude. Interesting. With your experience, dude, what are some tips that you can give to people that are starting from scratch, dude?
The number one thing is to pick a niche, right? There's a lot of different opinions about like niching down or not. These platforms, specifically again YouTube, I can speak very, very clearly about YouTube. Your channel becomes like what's the word? You're like an expert in this topic, right? Whether you are or not, but the channel is all about this one thing. It makes it easier for them to recommend your content to the same people, right?
I understand.
They watched your video about I'll use the dirt bikes again, right? They're watching your dirt bike video. And if every video is about dirt bikes or dirt bike accessories, dirt bike tracks, dirt bike racers, it's just like watching a TV program, right? When you go to ESPN, you're there for sports.
Right.
There's multiple programs. Every hour there's a different show, but the theme is sports, right? And then you can get more granular. There's ESPN, that's the college channel, and there's the ESPN that's just the basketball channel. You can get more granular that way. And that's what playlists are for, or you have your second channel. But niche down. That's the number one thing. The second thing is make sure it's something that you could talk about every day for the rest of your life and never get tired of it. Because it's a marathon. To grow any social platform to any notoriety, whether it's your goal is to make financial gains or to garner an audience big enough to maybe sell a product to, right? You're an inventor, entrepreneur, you're a writer, you want to sell a course, whatever. You build that following in order to sell those items, right? Doesn't matter what platform it is or what your goal is, but make sure whatever it is, you're really passionate about it, because it's going to take you a really long time to get to whatever that number is you have in your head. You know, if it's like, I want to hit 1,000 subs or I want to get 10,000 views, okay, buckle up. It's going to take you a long time.
So would you say that my focus shouldn't be on the subs anymore? It should be, I mean, yes, of course, to a certain number, because after that point you start monetizing. But after that point, my attention should shift to engagement rather than subs.
Absolutely. Engagement is going to be critical, because those are actually intentional actions by the viewers, right? Someone can watch your video and then just pass by. You know, obviously the vast majority of our views or impressions go without a comment, go without a like or a dislike. You know, there's no interaction. It's purely someone saw the video, swiped past it, right? Or clicked over it or whatever. So engagements are always going to be like a primary factor. And so in order to get those, you've got to engage with them and saying, hey, you know, let me know, leave a comment down below. Or, you know, you can still say, drop a thumbs up, because people forget to do that. And they hear it. You're going to get a percentage of people go, oh yeah, I will, you know, no problem. I got you. But yeah, the views or impressions, again, depending on what platform you're on, but views is, if you're talking about video, that is going to be the biggest indicator is how many views this video got. And then looking at the analytics to say where the views come from, right? Like YouTube has gotten so much better over the last like 10 years of the analytics and what the information we have. The information that I have now is crazy compared to like 10, 15 years ago. Like new viewers, returning viewers, when they click out, when they rewind, like I can see all of this information, and I don't always learn a lot. It just reaffirms what I already know, or it reaffirms what I think I know, right? Like, oh, I bet you anything the reason why this video's got 10,000 views is because they fast forward to this one part. There's a spike. Oh, there it is. I knew it. I called it, right? Like I know. So, yeah, the subscribers, again, that's a vanity number. It is something that people are going to look at and go, there's some notoriety there. Someone looks at my YouTube channel and sees 800,000 subs. We're like, oh shit, this guy knows. This guy is a YouTuber. He's obviously done something right? Yeah. You pull up my views, they're like 400 million views. What the? And then you see 66 million on one video. You're like, what the hell? Yeah. Right, but when that video come out, 2011. Yeah, it's an old video. That's why it's got 66 million views, because it's been getting views for like over a decade. So yeah, my recommendation would be to honestly, if you're asking the question like focusing on what analytics, what's stats, views, that's a good indicator of what worked, what didn't. They liked it, they didn't like it, right? Then you have to look at the analytics and go, okay, well, how many impressions did I get? This video's got 5,000 views, but it got 20,000 impressions. It's not a terrible ratio. If it got 100,000 impressions, that's a terrible ratio. Yeah, 5,000 views looks nice compared to your other videos, but it got swiped past 95,000 times, you know? But honestly, pull back a little bit further, your main focus should be making great content. And it doesn't matter what content it is. If it's a podcast, if it's Instagram photos, Instagram videos, and vertical video, if it's long form video on YouTube, if it's live streaming, whatever the platform is, whatever the content type is, even if it's blogging, you're a writer, maybe you're just a fantastic writer, like make great content and just keep posting. Like I'm a big fan of quantity over quality. Quality will come over time by putting in the reps.
Yes,
right?
I agree, dude.
That holds true for a lot of things in life, right? You get better the more you do it. Practice makes perfect, that mantra. And I feel like personally, that's the same thing with the more at bats you have, the more opportunities you have to hook somebody.
Yeah, definitely, dude. That just happened to me today, dude. I was going through. I posted 2 videos. I've been a little bit more consistent on my personal page, and I posted 2 videos today. And one of the second video I posted, dude, I noticed that like, oh, I really like how I stood there and how like the background looks blurred out, and I was like, oh snap! And all my previous videos, the background wasn't as blurred, but then the way I stood and where the camera was, it just gave it even this more aesthetic, like super cool look, you know? And I was like, oh, now I know how to do that, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So totally agree on that, dude. Quantity versus quality, dude. But then the quality will follow, I think.
Well, again, yeah, the quality goes up because again, you put in the reps and you understand certain things. Consuming content, I'm huge. Like I get in my inspiration from other creators. You know, whether it was YouTube, watching vloggers, or streamers watching other streamers. Like, oh, they got this cool little alert, or how do they do that? DM them, hey, buddy, how do you do that with the lights and the camera angles and the beats, the music, and like learning from them, right? And then not necessarily copying them, but like, okay, cool, I want to do the same thing, but I'm gonna do green, or I'm gonna do it on the right instead of the left. I'm gonna do it 2 times instead of 3 times, like making it your own. I think the part where quality is more important than the quantity is if you're making something like a short film, right? Like obviously you're not gonna be able to crank out a short film every week. That's gonna take a lot of time.
Right.
Right. But that's making that decision. Like I just want to make one great piece of content every month or every 6 months or every year. Right. Like a Quentin Tarantino who makes like one movie every 4 years or whatever it is. Right. And he's making only 10. This is his last movie and he's done. That's different. In the general social media content creation, I truly believe I'm in the camp of like quantity over quality.
Yeah, I would agree, dude. I think I'm on that camp too, dude. Cool, man. Making a little shift into the more personal side of things, dude. I know we talked a little bit about this when we met for coffee, dude. But how would you say that your career as a creative guy, dude, affected your family, whether positive or negative, dude?
Mostly positive, obviously. My wife and I being full-time home, we started doing brand deals where we traveled. My kids have been to like a dozen states in the country, whether it be for conferences or for like actual tour. We did a lot of touristy stuff where like we brought the kids to, theme parks and small little cities and towns that needed the publicity, right? Like there's a little town, a little city called Navarre Beach. It's in the panhandle of Florida. It's between Pensacola and Destin.
Interesting.
And so like they even told us like, if you go west, it's like retirement money, the Air Force, I think, is over there, the Navy. And then you go the other way, it's like college town, spring break, 24/7. We're in the middle and we're just like chilling in the middle. So they brought us out and like like the touristy guys, showing all the cool things you can do in Navarre. So on your way to Destin, stop in Navarre, kind of thing. So my kids got to experience a lot of cool stuff.
Interesting. Cool. Cool.
And then it was paid for, and then we got paid on top of that to make the video, right? And then of course the video grew on the platform, that grew the channel. So it was this constant win-win, right? Then we started getting into the more product stuff. We started getting toys and like things sent to the house to make a video about. So the kids benefited hugely from that, right? And obviously once certain people found out that I was a YouTuber, like, oh, your dad's a YouTuber. I go to the school for parent-teacher conferences or for some like school day, and all of a sudden I got a line of kids that wanted to come talk to me because like, do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so?
So cool, dude.
Like other YouTubers.
Yeah.
And then you started getting the kids that are like, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up. And that's like, dang, like, I never thought of that. Like, firefighters, cops, astronauts, people are like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be like, sure. But like to the first time a kid said, I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up, it's like, that's me. That's me. I'm that guy. So that was pretty cool. On the negative side, the only things that I can really look back on, and trust me, I've had conversations with my kids multiple times, especially when they got into high school and they got to that age of like, hey, they're not by mom and dad 24/7 anymore, right? My daughter eventually got a job. She got a car. She was going to be out on her own in public without me. I was definitely started to like worry about, public interactions. People watched her because when I started doing these vlogs back in the day, anonymity wasn't a thing, right? Like I vlogged in front of my house. So you could see my address. You could see the streets that I lived on, right?
Dude.
Right. And so like, I never thought twice about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a pessimist and I'm not a worry wart. Like I'm very optimistic and I trust everybody and benefit of the doubt until you burn me kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Which has definitely backfired on me multiple times. But nevertheless, when my kids got to a certain age, I definitely talked to them more and like asked them questions and asked them for permission. But because they had grown up in it, there was never any issues or any animosity or Dad, I don't want to be on camera. Like my son, I think one time he was embarrassed. I think he, scuffed up his knees or he did something. And one time he's like, Dad, don't vlog me. Like literally one time that I can remember, because he was embarrassed, and I never really tried to, because again, I've always said that Clintus TV is about me and my life and where I'm at this point in my life. And so the channel started before my kids. The channel now is main focused on me again because my kids are older and moving out. Like my son moves out in like 3 weeks to NAU. He's going to Flagstaff. And so he's moving out. He's going to be gone, right? My daughter's going to ASU, but she's going to stay at home for this first semester and just drive. So, we're definitely getting that empty nest vibes early on. But like I'm doing the vlogs and like 99% of them are just me. My wife makes a cameo in the kitchen. My son makes a cameo in the dining room or on the couch. Like, what are you watching, bro? Oh, I'm doing this, this, and that. But like, again, like they've grown up with it. So it's just second nature to them, right? They've even be like, hey, Dad, you want to grab the camera real quick? I'm going to show you this. I'm going to tell you this real quick. Oh, yeah, cool. And I asked them multiple times, especially my daughter, do you want me to stop, vlogging you? Do you want to stop being in the vlogs? No, it's fine. Okay. Have you got you've been bullied? Any shitheads, at school? No, everything's cool. Everything thinks you're cool. Like it's cool that you're a YouTuber. I got a YouTuber dad. My daughter's very proud. She's made multiple posts like on Father's Day and appreciation days and stuff like that about like, there was a meme on TikTok for a while. It was like, your dad's this, my dad's this. She did that. It's like, your dad, you might have a dad that did this, but my dad's a Clintus. And she's like showing me clips from my streams, my charity streams, and all the goofy stuff I've done, dancing and being silly. She saved all those clips and made videos, So there's never been a major negative side, thankfully. There's definitely been horror stories out there of families, abusing the system, abusing their kids for the sake of the views and for the sake of the money. I think I never got that big where it got, it never got to my head to that point. Again, I treated it like a job, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Obviously I was daily vlogging, but like doing the work stuff was limited to those hours. And then after that I was a dad.
Dude, so this question is, again, on the personal side, but really personal. With your success that you've had, dude, and I totally relate with you and wanting to change and stuff like that, dude. I love change, dude. I think I told you I'm a 7 on the Enneagram, dude. So I'm that guy. I don't have wings. I'm a solid 7 for those of you guys who know what that means. It's like a personality test. And I'm always doing different things. As a matter of fact, before you got here, I was talking to Noah, and I was talking to him about this project. I won't share it live yet, but coming soon, that I'm about to start hustling on, and and it's funny because Noah, he always just like listens to me, dude, and never says anything negative, just like right on, dude, But if it was any other person, they're like, dude, like I have friends who tell me, bro, you're doing this, you're doing that, But that's just my personality, dude.
Yep.
And I can manage all that. And I don't mind. Like my mind and my heart are at peace when I'm busy, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so, and I like to try new things. I always say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none,
Yep.
And my buddy's like, the other day, he's like, dude, there's another part to that, dude. I'm like, yeah, I don't know that part, dude. I just know up to there, But yeah, so the question is, dude, in your career, you've obviously been successful in that field, you reached a peak of a mountain that a lot of us want to reach, a lot of people strive for, dude. What is it for you? Or I'm thinking how I can phrase this question, but for Clintus, what is it that Clintus wants to accomplish in life, dude?
Oh, wow. What do I want to accomplish in life?
Like, what are you striving for, dude?
Yeah. Like I said, I just want to be happy with what I'm doing. Right. I want my kids to be happy, my kids to have a support system. which I feel like they have. And I also look at the big picture. Like, I'm 43 years old. I'm barely halfway through my life. I'm not even halfway through my life. All my experiences I've had, I've got a times 2. I got a whole nother set of 40 years to go, right? I want to live to 100. That's my goal.
Great outlook, dude.
And so I've switched careers 4 times. I own my 3rd house. Like, I've, bought and sold. This is my 3rd house.
Good for you, dog.
I've worked in multiple industries. I look back at all my accomplishments, and it's like, it doesn't mean anything, because tomorrow shit happens. Things change.
Right.
I don't love what I'm doing right now for work, but it has purpose. It's my dad's company that I encouraged him to go full time in. My brother, who's his partner, encouraged him to go full time with. And he's at the point now where he's ready to retire, right? He's got about a year left to quote unquote retire, whatever that means for him. We'll see. And I want to be there to help him transition. I want to make sure that he's comfortable. Even right now, like, he didn't come into work today because he had to take his mom to the dentist appointment. He's like, "Oh, I'll be in afterward." Like, why? By the time you get here, all the work's gonna be done. There's no reason for you to drive down here. There's no reason to. Anything you can do today, you can wait till tomorrow, Pop. And he's just like, the first time he's like, okay, all right. He's taking Saturdays off. He's taking Thursdays off randomly, like, because he knows that we've got it, And I want to make sure my brother's set up for success. Now, a year from now, 2 years from now, when he retires, I'll see where the business is at, see where my brother's at. Does he need me? Cool, I'm there. There's a place for me there long term. I have to make some changes, but I'm there. If he's got this and he doesn't need me, he's good. My other brother's on board and he's good, I'm out. I'll go find something else to do. Whatever makes me happy, as long as I can do what I like, which is the YouTube and the video games and everything, and my wife's happy and we get to keep our home and everything, then I figure it out. I'm not worried because I'm confident that I can figure it out. I figured it out till at this point.
Right.
Serendipitous moments when I was working at Cox, how I got to where my final destination was. All my experiences, all my cool things that happened at Twitch and YouTube, being at the right place at the right time, meeting the right person. I have a knack for that kind of stuff. And sometimes I just joke and say, I'm just waiting for the next big opportunity. Don't know when it's going to happen. Don't know where it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. I put myself in the right position.
Dude, so it sounds like there's no end destination. It's just a day by day.
So what's that famous line? Like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? That's my life. My kids went to Disneyland, just the 2 of them. They got in the car and drove to Anaheim, went to Disneyland just by themselves. It was awesome, right? Another testament to them being mature, responsible adults.
Right.
They brought me back a coffee mug from Tomorrowland in Disneyland, and it just says, "Just along for the ride." And it's the monorail and the castle. And they're like, "That's you, Dad. You're just along for the ride." Because mom, mom, you make mom. I don't make mom make all the decisions, but it makes life a lot easier when mom makes the decisions, because then she's happy.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm cool. Like, that's who I am. That's my personality. I'm just along for the ride, man. Like, what do you want to do? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the kind of person that's like calling people like, "Yo, dude, you want to go to the D-backs game?" That's not me. But if you're like, "Hey, Clint, I got an extra ticket to D-backs game. You want to go?" I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. I'll go to any live event. I don't care what it is. If someone calls him and says, "I got 2 tickets to mud wrestling, pig races, like whatever," I'm like, "Let's go. I'm down." And the best part is, because I vlog, it becomes part of my content. It becomes something I can share with other people. Phoenix, Arizona, even though it might be the 5th largest city in the country, there's a lot of people who have never been to Phoenix, never been to Arizona. They have a misconception that it's desert and cowboys. And then I walk downtown, they're like, "What? This looks like New York." It's like,
right.
Every city is the same. And so I love that I can share my life and share my experiences and share my thoughts, right? Like, just now, you and I were having this conversation. I've been sharing my history and my outlook on things. And you're like, you're getting a vibe check on me. I'm changing the way you think. I'm changing the way you look at me. I'm changing the way you might react to something, because you're like, "Well, Clint said this. That's a good point." Or, Clint said he did this. And I never thought of it that way. Like, it's invoking, thoughts and
Definitely,
and
dude.
changing the way you look at things.
Dude, let me speak into that, dude. For me, dude, I just don't know how to say it, dude, and I don't want to get emotional, dog. But for me, I'm finding it hard, dude. I'm the same. I'm very similar to how you've been describing yourself, dude. I'm that guy too. If you call me, you're like, hey, you know what? And I have an awesome wife, so it's like I know she's cool with it too. So if you call me, man, I'm showing up, dog. You know what I'm saying? Unless something's happening, like a kid's game or something. But I like to go with the flow. I'm very spontaneous. My wife will tell you that. I have a cousin who gives me a hard time about it. She's like, got to plan everything out. But I just love experiencing life, dude. I feel like when I'm not, I'm missing out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so that's Wiffy, dude. That's we just go with the flow. 2 years ago, we took a vacation. We went to Utah, and we'd never been. And we're like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do it? Where are we gonna land? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just heard it was nice. Let's go. You know? And
right.
we went, dude, and it was horrible because like, I didn't realize how like we had to rent cars and like do all that. We just flew in, dog. You know, and then. We would rent like cars for like 2-3 days, and then we were struggling to have to come back to the airport, and then we were gonna drive back because we were gonna fly there and drive back so we could see the scenery. Yeah. Then we realized like car rental places don't like that; they want you to bring it back, and so we're like, oh my gosh, dude. But it was quite the experience. But all that to say, dude, that I find myself right now struggling with ambition. I feel I'm in a point in my life where I want to be ambitious. I mean, it's not that I want to, but I'm naturally inclined to being ambitious, and I'm striving for success. You know, I had kids, you know, like you early on, dude. And for me, because I had a more artistic side view to life at that time, I wasn't necessarily like secure, you know, in a lot of ways. And to this day, you know, I've dabbled here and I've dabbled there, but I haven't found the thing. And so because I haven't found the thing, I'm searching, I'm striving, and I feel it's pulling me away from that which I knew I wanted, which was to have kids and a family and enjoy that. But now, like, I find myself living in this space more of like, dude, I gotta hustle. You know, I gotta hustle. This new opportunity that just came up, dude. Last night I was talking to my wife, and I was like, babe, are you sure? What are you feeling? Like, do you have a vibe about things? Like, if I take it, it's going to change my life. That's what I'm going to do for the next 5-10 years. Like, are you okay with that? You know, I may miss some of my kids' games. Like, that's what I'm going to do. And she was like, well, we can't have everything, man. You know? And I was like, dang. But all that to say, dude, that with my stuff, dude, my personal stuff, we kind of talked about it a little bit. You said that you had watched some of my videos, dude, with the whole real thing, dude. REAL, relational, engaging, authentic, and loving. Honestly, that's just the way I've gone about life and how I've used that to build my personal relationships, my network, and some of my businesses. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, dude? And what direction would you encourage me to take, or do you think like it's too broad, or what are your thoughts, dude? From an influencer perspective.
Well, so the first thing I'd ask you is like what is your goal? Like with your personal one, right? Like so far what I've been seeing, like I saw your 2 new ones today, is like these inspirational quotes, and you're doing it with I love the bravado that you bring to it. Like you're very like not serious or direct, but like confident. You're saying this with a stat of confidence that I feel like you know, someone catches that, like they're listening. They're gonna listen to you.
Cool, like, oh, this guy. That, dude.
You feel like, don't take this the wrong way. Like it sounds like you know what you're talking about. Regardless,
that's why I laughed. Yeah, that's why I laughed.
Regardless of whether you do or not, like it sounds like you do, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think that's a great starting point. But really, ask yourself, you know, what is it your goal is with these videos, and what do you want the person who's when they are done watching your video, what do you want them to do next? Think about that. What's the next thing that you want that person to do? Whether it's watch another video, go to a website, watch a video, go to your podcast, you know, that sort of thing. And the other thing that then this is for all, again, this is all social media. Find other people doing the same thing you're doing. And now, how do you find them? Well, how does someone find yours? What tags are you using? What do you consider like the classification of your channel, your profile, your content? Like think broad, like, okay, I'm doing inspirational quotes. Okay. So do search for inspirational quotes. And go off platform too. Like if your main platform is Instagram, go to YouTube Shorts, go to TikTok and do those searches and see what people are doing to see what's working, right? When you find a video that's got 1 million views, okay, why is this video got 1 million views? What's this guy doing? Look at the comments. What are people saying? Oh man, I love this. I love that. There's your case study, you know? Like again, you can't copy somebody. You can try. You can try.
I just posted about that, Doc.
Yeah. You can try copying somebody, but at the end of the day, you could try your best and it's going to be your version, which is the point, right? Everyone's different.
You know what's funny, dude? In this space, I don't want to say my space because I'm barely dabbling in it, but like, I find there's a lot of gurus and there's a lot of experts, you know, but they're ultimately always trying to sell you something, of
course.
Right? And so I'm all for like entrepreneurship, dude, and like the free market, dog. But at the same time, I feel like there's a shift coming to social media, in my opinion, because that has become the norm. You know, I can't scroll Instagram. Maybe that's just because the algorithm knows and it's sending me those videos. But like every other scroll, dude, is like a guru. Like, hey, you want to learn how to sell 10,000 homes? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Download my free PDF. And it's like, dude, like, I can see how that worked originally because nobody was doing it. So everybody got intrigued,
right.
You know? But now that's like everybody does it, you know? So I feel like it's going to revert back to authenticity.
100%.
In my opinion, like authenticity, especially in today's world, outside of social media as well, I think is currency, you know? I always say that authenticity is currency. I mean, I'm not saying that I coined that phrase, but like I either heard it somewhere else, but I truly believe it,
right.
You know? And so my point is that like with this whole real thing, like I don't like just the other day I was thinking like some of my videos too, especially how I started engaging and trying to make it like, you know, catchy. I was like, okay, so what am I leading people to? Like, and what is my end goal? And initially, not gonna lie, like I was thinking like, dude, funnel them through. Eventually I can do the PDF. But then I was like, bro, but that's totally against my message.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I was just sitting there thinking like, dude, and I just, you know, I just kind of felt a download, dog, you know? And it was like, dude, just give value. Just give value. And eventually that will be taken care of. You know, either you'll figure it out, you'll get a new idea, or you'll make it work. But for now, just give value, you know? And so I was like, 10-4, dude. So I'm not going to hook it. I'm just going to do it, you know?
Right.
And so that's what I've been doing. And I just kind of capitalized on like what I've heard all my life. Like people, you know, because of my last name, every time they see me or whatever, they're like, dude, Wiffy, the real deal. Or like keeping it real with Wiffy, you know, like that's been my whole life, dude.
Yep.
Some joke like that, you know?
Yep.
But then I sat there one day and I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, how can I turn that into my voice, you know? And I was like, dude, relational. I started going through the acronym, you know?
Yep.
And I was like, dude, that, yeah, that's how I've done it. You know, that's literally how I've done it. Not boasting about that, but just like saying like, that's been my jam, you know?
Yep.
And in one of my videos, I said like, if you either live or do it the real way, like you'll grow, but you just won't grow. You'll grow the right way, you know? And I truly believe that, dude. The growth may be a little slower, but you'll get there the right way, you know, and build stronger bonds, relationships, et cetera, you know?
You're doing it the authentic way and organic, so the longevity will be there.
Right.
You know, take you longer to get there, but you're building that foundation that's just a bedrock.
Yes.
To lean in on that, I would say, you know, take that acronym and think of like some videos you could do for each letter, for each word, right? Like as a theme. Right, you know, you can definitely use ChatGPT to help you with that, but it's like come up with some ideas for the R, for the E, for the A, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
On the flip side, whether it's for the podcast channel or you know profile, more behind the scenes, right? Show this, right? Show the producer.
Yeah.
Show how you set up things.
Yeah.
When you're on your personal side, I'm going to bounce back and forth. Sorry, on your personal side, right? You're sitting at your computer. Right? You get your phone, hit the record button, like, yo, I'm sitting here researching blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of hit me. Or, hey, I'm sitting here reading a book, right? I'm reading this new book. And there's this part where the guy says, have those real moments outside of the polished videos, right? So keep doing your polished videos, but now start to inject more of the personal, authentic, right? Less polished, back to the quantity over quality, right? You still have your quality videos. These are your pillars. There's a thing. I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you. For YouTube specifically, they talk about this, but this is all content, no matter what the platform is. There's 2 types of videos, right? There's your hero content, there's your community content, and I forget what the third one is, but it's basically each video type is for a different audience. You're not making, every video is not for everyone,
right?
But there's someone for every video, right? So I believe that with my vlogs. Like I post a video every day. Most of them are not bangers, right? Most of them are just going to average run of the mill. In fact, today's video is a 10 out of 10. And if you're not sure of that, if you're not familiar with that term, when you go to your YouTube dashboard, it takes your last 10 uploads and it ranks them based on performance and the amount of time that they've been up, right? So for example, today's video has been up for, I don't know, call it 15 hours, right? So it says in the first 15 hours, this video is ranked 10 of your last 10 uploads. It's the worst of my last 10 videos, right? So today's video sucked because the title and thumbnail didn't hook and didn't grab enough of my subscribers that YouTube didn't recommend it to my non-subscribers, right? Whereas 2 days ago, it was a banger because it was the weekend, it was a pool party. That video blew up in the first couple of hours, and so it continued to get more views, right? So quantity over quality. Do your polished videos, but then also do some of the real stuff. Do some of the one takes, no edits, right? Use your phone, set up your camera, whatever. Get a couple takes, but like do it in one take, you know, and have it related to the topic, have it related to your theme, have it related to your goal, whatever it is. Again, you know, your own personal goal, and think of other pieces of content you can do outside of the norm. Because again, at the end of the day, the more variety you're going to give it, it's going to appeal to different pieces of different people and bring them in. And then that's how you're building that base and you're building that audience.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. That's great advice, dude. Yeah. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. I'm getting into this world, dude. I'm beginning to dabble in it, you know, and I love being creative, dude. That's my jam, dude, you know? So yeah, dude. But dude, Clint, this isn't the first time, man. This isn't the last time, or, you know, this is the first of many. And we'll have you on the pod, dude. Eventually, we're thinking of doing some lives and stuff like that, dude. So it'd be cool to have you there, dude.
Absolutely.
But, dude, do a plug. If you have a plug, tell the audience, man, what's cracking with Clintus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Clintus pretty much on every platform, early adopter. So I got that name locked on most platforms. Clintus TV is the YouTube channel. I post new vlogs every day about 6 a.m. Arizona time, and just documenting my life. It's like I said, it's kind of like you hanging out with me for the day. Some days I'm real talkative. Other days I'm not. Some days they're awesome. Like, you know, we did all these cool things. Other days it's just a normal, you know, but I get a lot of feedback that people like the walk-in talks, right? I'll walk Main Street and just talk for 10, 15 minutes, that kind of thing. But yeah, Clintus TV is the main platform, but clint.us is my website that kind of breaks down all my history, all the different links and socials and that sort of thing. So I was pretty stoked to get that URL, Clintus.
Nice.
That's actually a really cool story. We'll have to talk about it in the next pod.
Dude, seriously, dude. Likewise, dude, with Wiffy's, it was taken. And then I don't know how I found out that it wasn't. Jumped on that sucker, dude. I was like, ching, ching.
do you want to tell a story on now, or do you want to save it for later?
Dude, go for it, dude.
Okay, so I tried. So for a long time, a buddy of mine was like, dude, you should get Clint.us. So that's your name. It's Clintus. Tried to get it. Was taken by some guy named Clinton Schaefer in New York. And I reached out to him. No response. I set a little alert that says it's up for renewal. So I saw every year that he auto-renewed it. And I reached out to him every year, like, hey, man, you want. One day, randomly, I'm at Cox, sitting at my desk. I get a Facebook message. Ding. Hey, I think you're the guy that was trying to buy Clint.us. I'm not renewing it this year, so feel free to snag it when it's available.
No way.
And I was like, okay, is this for real? And I was like, well, here's my GoDaddy ID. You can feel free to transfer it to me. I'll pay the fee, and you can, it'll happen right now. That way, I get it. I mean, I guarantee to get it if you don't mind. He's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like waiting for $500. Like I was waiting for that drop, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I get an email. Ding. Clinton would like to transfer this URL. I'm like, accept. You like pay for the 15. Yes. Done. Ding. Done. I'm like, refresh. I'm like, holy shit, I just got the URL for $15. I was like,
dude.
I told my wife years ago, I was like, I'm willing to drop $1,000. I will pull $1,000 out and Clint.us. I'm like, that's owning your own.com. Like imagine yourname.com, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No one can do that. Vodka.com, whatever. So yeah, I snagged it and I was just like, and then I was like, what am I going to do with it? Now that I have it, what am I going to do with it? Right. So for a long time, I just went to my my YouTube channel, like Clintus TV. Because you can actually type in clintus.tv and it takes you to the YouTube channel.
Get out,
so
dude.
The domain name is the name of the channel is the domain name. I own them both. So they just, they redirect to each other. So,
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, dude. For me, I remember I looked it up, Wiffies, because I knew I always wanted to do something with Wiffies, right? And it was taken. And then I don't know what happened, but I ended up getting an alert. I really don't remember, dude. All I remember is that I couldn't believe it, and it was going to auction. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And it was like the .com, dude. And so I was like, oh my gosh, dude. So I ended up like registering to be able to bid. And I did bid, and I think I got it for like $1 or something. It was crazy, dude. And now, dude, it's just sitting there. I haven't let it go, dude. And I have a project that I'm working on right now. And it's like, that's the
don't ever let it go, man.
Yeah.
Like
seriously.
that's the one lesson I'll tell everybody that's listening and watching. If you have an idea for a business, if you have an idea for literally anything, do not say a word. Go buy the .com first before you say anything. We used to joke around at lunch. My tech buddies, we would be BSing at lunch and like, oh, this idea, we call it this. There'd be someone in the corner buying the .com in front of everybody. Like,
get out.
Like sneaking in there, like, I got it. It's mine now if you want to buy it. Like, you asshole. Like sneaking
Dang, dude.
Or on the flip side, you buy a URL and you set up a prank for your friends. So, when you're bored one night, you want to go to sneezeface.com. Feel free to go to sneezeface.com. You'll have a nice laugh. My friend set that up, and they pay for that domain, that website every year just to joke on me.
That's crazy, dude. I'm gonna check it out. Dude, thank you. Thank you for being here, dude.
Thank you.
I had a blast, dude.
I appreciate it.
No, how long have we been on, dude?
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Get out, dude.
Longest episode ever?
Dude, I think so.
Longest episode ever. Let's go.
Hey, guys, thank you if you've watched up until this point, thank you guys for sticking around. We appreciate you guys. Like we said before, I think one of our first merch pieces is coming out soon, guys, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And as we like to say here on the Wiffy Real podcast, baby, we like to close you guys out by saying, hoorah.